Aloha, guys. Welcome to JohnRamus.com TV. Here offering you 10 things that I've to share for everyone I believe are unique and helpful, whether in personal relations or social matters. Starting off with the idea of the dream mate. The dream mate implies that you're committed to your dreams. You can wear a ring to signify that, and you want to use your energy for them. And of course, your dream mate you give energy to because they have the same dreams or interests as you do. The implication being that if you just give your energy to a random person, that they'll use that energy for their dreams, something else. So it's a sense of respecting people and respecting yourself too, though. Not wanting to change people, but having the patience and strategy, using things like a ring on your finger, not being around associating with or dealing with people you're attracted to, realizing that you can be seduced, or you can subconsciously want to seduce someone, leading me to my number 2 concept of people, when they're either familiar with someone or they're around someone, whatever it is, or maybe they haven't activated their second chakra. This is pretty much my concept number 2. Guess what happens is they end up in seducing each other, or allowing themselves to be seduced. And other words for it are being friendly or flirtatious or trying to be nice, but in reality it's seduction. It's when the mind gets in that mindset, and the desires distract, and they can take away from what you actually want in your life. And often it's just as simple as activating that second chakra and not wanting other people to activate it for you. And also not feeling bad for others if they can't, sometimes people will feel badly for another person that they can't, that they're not with a partner, or they're not married, and so you want to please them just out of feeling bad, but that's not a good basis for it. And number 3, the belief that because you don't have the perfect body, you can't have a nice life and a satisfying sex life, and in addition, other people can have a better life. And the reality is, no matter where you live, or the things you have, or the body characteristics you have, it's all us. Anyone could be anyone. We could reincarnate as anyone. So why not, and this is number 3, use my reincarnation theory of investing in other people. If you don't find your body attractive, just don't have children, and invest in people you find attractive. And that way, their grandchildren, or whatever it may be, will, guess what, very possibly be your next incarnation. And how positive is that? That totally flips it around from hoping or wishing you had another body or life circumstances to liking the challenges that you're faced with, wanting them, employing solutions for yourself and future generations. And how nice is that? It's all us, right? So doing that, turning it into a feel-good situation, turning it into a place where, hey, we're all okay here. We're all one, if you will, unity consciousness. And let's enter into number 4, major idea that I have to share. The idea of, it's complementary towards the idea of the dream mate. It's the dream team. This is an advancement on an idea of, say, family or friends. Dream team is specific. It means that people are committed to each other's dreams, and perhaps some beliefs and so on. And when you're like that, what happens is you're connected with people, right? And you're realizing that, this is who I am, and this is what I want to be, and the people that I associate with, I don't have to change them, but they're committed to dreams. And this may include some people who are your previous family or friends or whatever, but just take it seriously. Really be specific on the premise of associating with people. Sometimes it's vague, like just because the person's friendly or you know them from before, then, oh, you're going to commit time and energy to them. But what if you could be more specific in the way you live your life, more scientifically oriented? And thus leading me to number 5, I'm excited about, is this idea that it's not good to name somebody else your parent or older brother or sister or niece or nephew, or even younger, or even uncle or aunt, or grandfather, grandmother. All these terms, and of course terms like boss or parent, boss or pastor, or they're different. These are terms that suggest authority, and it's important to transcend that, to go into a place where it's not about authority. It's about equality. It's about, we're all adults now, so why not either be friends or brothers and sisters, equals? As an adult, I want to be friends with, say, my biological legal parents, quote unquote, and I've even extended to this opportunity to them, which they weren't interested in, for example. But I don't have this attachment or this psychological mental programming subconsciously thinking that, oh, this person's my parent, my authority, I want to impress them throughout my life. I always, when you say that in your mind and think that, it affects your life. It makes you, for example, I didn't like my legal biological mother, quote unquote, but I called her my mother in my head, and that affected me. It made me be unfriendly towards women, and I dealt with that and decided that I'm my own authority. I don't even refer to her as friend, much less mother, and I describe her as a stranger currently, because of my dissatisfaction with who she is, and her wanting to be my authority, and so that's where I stand on that. I encourage people to take that step into independence, emotional independence. You pay your own bills, you live your own life. Why would you call somebody else your authority? And why would you want someone else to? In fact, it's much better to call I use the term male, female guardians. By the way, this is the important part of number 5 here, is MG or FG, male or female guardians. It's somebody who, it's a specific term, right? It's science. It's okay, I'm their guardian. I look out for them financially and otherwise. And you don't want to send somebody into an environment, say a public place, alone, and they under the premise that they're having a guardian, because you want them to empower them to be their own guardian. Because if a lot of people, I think, get taken advantage of or manipulated, because guess what? They're calling somebody else their authority. They're mentally submissive. And they might even feel badly unless they have that authority around them. It's just not a healthy thing. For example, for there to be a pastor of a church, and then other people go to each week listen to and call someone your pastor, that's like calling someone your king or queen or something. I think it's unrealistic if your goal is to have equality in your life and equal people. Want to be that. Want to be someone who you can say, this person is equal to me. They are someone who, I can, in a church setting you might, or family, whatever, you can switch roles. One person can be the speaker of the week, and then next week another person, as an example. But you want people like this, like people who think that, oh, I want my wife to be submissive and not educated. Wouldn't you want somebody smart and capable around you? And just let's go there. And also worth considering, I feel, is the idea that, hey, you know what? Number 6, by the way, this is number 6. What if there is a positive visualization that can be done? You may have heard of this before. It's called light work visualization, where you can transcend negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are thinking of people and wanting badly for them, thinking of them in the associative imagery of, I don't like this person, I don't like this situation, and beam light to it. If you're concerned about something at work today, beam light in the space. Imagine with your hands beaming bright white light, a bright white laser of light in the space, it being filled with a sphere of white light. Use your imagination to do something nice here. Change the situation. Imagine the person smiling. Even if you don't want to deal with them or be around them, imagine them smiling. Program your mind to attract that positive energy that you want. And remember, this is number 7, that the danger of familiarity. The familiar, okay? The familiar, like I was saying, what maybe in your past or what you grew up with or what you're around, it might not be what you want to be programming with yourself or thinking that's important. For example, thinking that, oh, I need a certain lifestyle or a certain car or whatever. Whatever's your programming is, examine it and realize that people, you know, if you're friendly, if people are friendly to you or they're offering you things like food or transportation, you might be familiar with the idea of receiving gifts and expecting other people to look out for you. But that could leave you vulnerable. It could leave you vulnerable to people taking advantage of you, manipulating you. And number 7 is to have 2 different approaches to life. One of them would be your practical, like your work gear. Like, for example, I'm in some similar basic work gear right now, and it's practical. I can move around, I can get stuff done, and whatever your profession is. And then I think it's important to have a professional appearance otherwise, and that is, you know, what an attorney might dress up like. You want to be your own attorney, you want to be your own professional, be your own doctor to the capacity that you can. You know, you can like massage therapy yourself, you can, you know, stretch yourself, and you can do a lot of things that empower you. Be your own dentist. By the way, fluoride is poison, FYI, and a lot of dentists or doctors and even attorneys who represent criminals, they use the system to make money, but it's like, how can you really find meaning and importance in what you do if you're just wanting money, you know? So, and by the way, number 8 might very well be that an examination of politics and how people make money. You know, really ask yourself what you think is the right way to make money and what the world needs, what you think you can do for it. And you might think that hey, what can I do? You know, and so write this stuff down, you know, maybe make a website, do something that makes it so you're defining yourself. And this is pretty much number 8, right? You're creating your world. And the way you're doing it is by being careful about who you describe in your life. And you know, I like to use the terms, this person is either a friendly professional or they're a personal dream team. Dream team being, you know, a word I've described. But you're categorizing people, and also be able to categorize them, realize there are some people that are to be avoided, or they're a potential threat to you and your beingness. So you want to figure out what's going on in your life, and you know, make a website, define yourself, some business cards, and really ask yourself what work is, what you're willing to pay for, you know, and also not to be charitable if you can't afford to be. And often that just means, number 9, avoid being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this is a standard concept, but it means to suggest that during certain times of day, or even the clothing you wear, the clothing other people wear, that can tell you warnings. The way people talk. Don't want to change people and hope they change. Just be realistic about, okay, this is who this person is. They are perhaps lazy, or they're a threat, or and 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 so number 10, I'll leave you with this thought. This is a final idea, and that is to make a choice. Make a choice that, I am all that is. I can look around, I can look at people and want good for them, but I really am all that is. Every single person I look at, that's me. I am that other person. And so, and by the way, with the idea of reincarnation, things like dealing with criminals, like humane execution and even humane suicide for people who are, say, they're mentally irretrievable, or they're physically disabled. Is it fair to keep these people alive? As unity consciousness, as one person looking around at everyone, we can reincarnate and we can make the world better, but it requires some intentionality and some doingness, and for the sake of good times, positive times, generational improvement. Let's do this. Let's really make it happen. Let's make it possible for people to commit humane suicide, to not give money and resources to criminals, and instead make some possibilities for the children. Make more resources allocated for them, and just decide that, what type of society do you want to live in. Do you want somebody to take care of your health when you're older, or when you can barely move, or is it best to just leave your body with humane suicide and say, hey, you know what, I'm ready for something new, I'm ready for a new life, and I don't want to burden myself upon somebody else. And be able to look at people, at the end of the day, it's just looking at people, realizing, hey, that's part of me. This angry person is part of me. What can I do to improve that situation? And don't be all spiritual, positive like I'm being right now in unsafe environments. Make sure you're in a safe place. You know what I mean? And make it happen. Just be able to look at someone, be able to say, I don't want to seduce this person. I don't want to manipulate them. I want the best for them, even if it means avoiding them. And as a bonus, I'll say that a trick to anger and people upset is just giving space, seeking and giving space. Because when you do that, you can maybe communicate via other terminologies, or indirectly with words of, diplomatic words and email and text message instead of direct communication, which can lead to more drama. But just seek space and give it. Thanks for considering these ideas. Aloha.